All right, we are live. We are back. Nasdaq is ranging, man. It is ranging. Super range here, man. We were just really much back at the open. We're gonna see if we want to do a pop, get back above 25,000, or if do we want to tank. A lot of people was thinking this 25,000 was gonna hold. We're gonna see though. It's really just a big range. All right, we failed to break out this zone. If you pretty much map it, we're pretty much in a big range still. Alright, so we're pretty much waiting for this break. Waiting for the break. Back below the open. See, we pretty much just held the first standard deviation. So it's still holding. And if we tank below this trend line pretty much and start breaking lower here, this thing is gonna tank. It's gonna be a mass tankage, man. What you wanna see? Alright, let's put our profiles in here. Yeah. So man, we can get some tank now for really trending. You wanna see it break out of this, out of value. Right, so we're gonna watch for that. We are definitely gonna watch for that, because that's gonna be nice. But as you can see, we're just pretty much just holding the range. Even once this big move, this nice move came here, didn't break, it just ranged. And it's volatile, but it's not breaking. So really the best thing to do is to wait. You wanna wait for the break. Wait for the break. Alright. And a lot of times, these are times you gotta just sit on your hands and wait. You really just want to chill out, wait, and wait for the break. You can get in, you pretty much can get in trouble anticipating a break, alright? Unless you get your nice setup inside of this range and you're anticipating it. Alright, we're gonna see if we're breaking lower. This thing should be breaking. Here we go. Alright. So we're pretty much watching for like 850s and lower. And if this thing starts breaking below the daily low, it's really on, right? Then it's really on. Alright, so then for now you just pretty much want to plot out some kind of levels, man. You want to just kind of have an idea where you may want to get to. And then build like confluence points. That's the best way. Alright, just have a bunch of places of confluence. See, it's still not breaking. Alright. Come on now. And a lot of people say a trend line doesn't work. Well, that makes no sense because it's working. It's working. Alright, and it's a great confluence point. Back up here. Alright, so we start getting, you want to see if this thing could hold 25,000. 25,000 is the main number. $25,000. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. And this is still, again, it's just ranging. This is literally just a big range, and it's nothing extending the range yet. Now that's where other assets come in play, right? Then you want to watch something else. See what else is moving. Now I'm telling you, once this thing starts closing down here, we'll be looking for these daily lows. So 25,000, there it is again. We're back at it in resistance again. Crazy. It's crazy. So it's pretty much just still in the range. It's just ranging. Nothing more. Now you could play within that range. Right, if you don't want to wait. So right now we're pretty much just in a 100 point range. All right. Let's see what else is moving. If anything else is moving, that'll be good to see. Let's see. Probably oil though. Oil had a major crash really. All right. After that pop, and then it just crashed back down. Oil again is declining, so gold, oil is pretty much ranging. Now bonds are dropping, so that's pretty much I know it can't be setting up for like a risk on type of thing. So oil dropped drastically. Really, really drastically. So right now, pretty much everything is kind of ranging, right, for the day. Pretty much. Now, if we take oil off, all right, you can kind of see more of what's in play. As you can see here, we're tanking back down to the, oh, okay, so now we could be getting downside expansion to the downside on Nasdaq off of 25,000. All right, so we're back at these lows, man. We're back at these lows. Here we go. All right, we're looking at 24,892 break. 24,892s. Let's see. Here we go. See, in these kind of breakouts, you want to cap your risk really tight because it could pop back. So you stop probably 932s, and we're in there. All right. And we want to see this thing continuously go. We don't want to see it pretty much any pullback over 920s. You really, at this point, you don't want to see it over 910s. All right, so first target, we want a great target is 820s, 825s, 826s. So again, like I say, the most important thing to do in these times is to cap your risk, because this pop up, right? You want to see only continuation. No retracement, only continuation. And you may get stopped out, right? But the thing is when it does go, right? See, now we're out for break even. Then now the real key, we start breaking back below 9, right? This thing starts taking 9 out, it's over. Now for your upside, right? What would limit your upside, right? All right. So if we start busting back over here, then we're back on a long bias. But as of now, once this 900 gives way, it's over. Over. Here we go. I want to see a nice break at 9. Nice breaks of the 900s. Nasdaq needs to break 24,900. Gold has had a nice pullback here. Back below 52. Couldn't quite get up here. Man, gold has been doing some major stuff. Now, from yesterday, I mean, this thing really has a shot of rocketing, but we're still ranging. It's still in a range. Yesterday was ugly. Alright. Once we got, it just basically held 24, 24,000 yesterday. $24's even. So what I'm starting to realize is the best thing we could do as traders is learn to get the hell out. Right? I've blown 1,000 accounts trying not to just get out. But when we learn to just get out, I mean, shit, you save your sanity and you save your account. See there? And we're back here. So those stops, 920s, right? So we're just pretty much in a range. Just ranging away. Just ranging. Now within this range there's been some great moves, right? That's for sure. Alright. But as of now it's nothing. Alright. Now if you're a super scalper, alright, you could try to catch some more of this upside possibly. Alright, but is it worth it? Alright. 10 points or so. I don't know. For some it is. Alright. So we really just want to see this clean break and a range of expansion to the downside. And it'll kind of give you a few different shots and then they'll just go. Alright. You're still not breaking to the upside. We're just trapped. We're trapped between these two numbers here. This may be the break. We want to see it break. We want to see the break and then we may get a minute retest, right? A value and then a continuation. That'll be the cleanest play. That's going to be the absolute cleanest. Alright. Could have taken this, but you're still, alright, you're still within that range. Alright, we're looking at the break of 9. There we go. And then now you can get your stops at 912s. 913. Alright. You want to see this thing hold. Bam. You're out for the first one. See if it want to break and go. You want to just see it break and go. Alright. And it's just ranging. Here's, like I mentioned, it's the best play is to know how to get out quickly. Because if it goes, it's going to go. And there's no point of trying to hold that. Alright. There's times you want to hold it, and I hold it, I'm not going to lie. Alright. And you'll get up here, and by the time you get up here, though, you're like, damn. Do I get out? And then you get up here. You're like, oh shit, should I get out? Well, you should have gotten out at the worst case up here. Alright. But you see as we pop back over 9s. See, now they're just pretty much, there's some buyers here trying to defend this, right, at 900. They're trying. Now, if this thing starts rocketing up here again, past 25,000, this thing is going to go. A lot of the sentiment is really down. Had a nice little upward ranging expansion, but it's just ranging. We want to see if this thing will break. Still holding. Still holding. And they're doing a great job holding at 24.9, right? 24.9, that's really what they're trying to hold at 24.9, man. So again, like I mentioned, we're in about 100-point range here. All right. Okay. We started getting back really above VWAP 25,000. This thing has some really nice room to go to the upside. As you can see, we didn't break down here. We did not break out. It's pretty much held within value. So we want to see 970s, 950s to 970. That by itself was what, 30-point move in 1 minute. 1 minute, 30-point move. All right, so the best thing to do is, I mean, you could possibly be buying there, honestly, right? With stops at 40s, 44s, right? Or you could wait for more of a confirmation, right? Because again, like I mentioned, you're still in that range, all right? But you want to start seeing some strong breakouts here. As you can see, though, it's going up on descending volume, so it's really not much. They're pretty much waiting for this thing to pop out of here. Even here, I mean, this was pretty much your largest volume there. Now that means it's pretty much they're in there and they're not pretty much getting out or in right now. Yeah, so we want to just see. We want to see this break really, all right? And then if you're in and getting in, you want to have tight stops, man, especially on the Nasdaq. All right, we're back over the VPOC. I mean, stops could be super tight, man. All right, still looking for that confirmation. So it looked like we could. All right, there we go. We're holding VPOC. That's the great sign there. Get back over the VWAP. Stops now, man. Could be 770s. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect trade. See if we can get this continuation, man. We want to see it to go. All right. Especially that was an increase in volume here. We're waiting for this break. 25,000. You got to know resistance is right there. All right. See if we could hold it and break. See if we can hold it and break, baby. And this is why I say that I mean, people look at, like I say, trend lines bad for some reason. Right? I figure it's a simple tool in your toolkit, man. That's the best way to look at all of them, really. It's tools in your toolbox, all right? Now, if you don't think a certain tool is useful, then just disregard it. Don't use it, all right? Because really, it's a confluence point, everything, really. So I'm saying, oh, it's the 25 number holding. Well, other people that trade trend lines see this, and they're like, well, it's the trend line holding, right? Others may see this and say it's the VWAP holding, right? Well, they all come together at one single point, right? Which is crazy, right? So which one is it that's working? No one knows. No one knows, right? It's really just buying and selling, right? So it's just what's influencing people to buy and sell, right? There we go. Back to the downside. Here we go. We want to see now. You really want to just sit on your hands at this point. All right. If you weren't in this long, there's no need of trying to chase it. All right, especially right at 25,000. Definitely not there. All right, let's see what we have here. Now the next play is up to 30s. All right, here we go. See if you can get you a clean, tight stop and then get in. You want to see the break of 25. That's literally what you're waiting on. You want to see 25 get taken out strong and then get your stops in there tight at 80s. Here we go. Alright, your stops need to be already set. And then you're pretty much just in. You're in waiting now. Just as much as you were waiting to not trade, now you gotta wait when you're in the trade. Now you have to wait. And then it's pretty much the same type of analysis, right? Until you're proven wrong. That's what it seems to come down to, right? Until you're wrong. What helps you buy and sell, right? What's your decision making tools? Right. Here we go. So it could be going to break even shortly. Alright. Come on. Let's go. We're looking for 30s. We're looking for 30s. 25, 930 and beyond. Right. And we start getting, this is where multiple contracts is great to have as well. Right. You could be trading multiples. Alright. And then you can start scaling out of one and things like that. And trail the rest. So that kind of feeds both of your mind psychologically. Really. Here we go. You can't hold the whole deal. Let's see 30s. We're break even and we're trailing. Break even and we're trailing. Now this is where I find the order book really helpful. Order book is super helpful right here, right? Because I guarantee you could see something happening, some type of absorption or something at the 20s that would help you kind of know that, okay, the number isn't 30, it's 20s, it's 25s, right? All right, let's see if 20, this is the next trade setup, really. See if 25 hold, and then we'll see this expansion to the upside. First trade is down. Yeah, that first trade was great. That was a super great trade. Had two major setups right here. All right. I mean, they set up so perfectly. It's like, damn. Especially when you add volume in here. All right. You getting all of this down here, and then you could see this volume spikes right here at the low. Then you get a pretty much a great outside candle. Alright, so you had an outside candle here, nice rejection, trap zone. I mean, this was perfect. Alright, and that was, and at the hold number, right at 900. So if you're in from down here, congratulations, because you could still be holding that. Alright, so we want to see this trend line hold. Alright, this could be the next trade set up for upside expansion, but we want to play it tight. You want to play it tight. There we go. There we go. Two stop points here, 25,000 even, or right here at the 25.8. What's that? Pretty much 25,990s. We're looking for upside expansion. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Already up, what, 30 points right now. Let's go. Trend lines don't work, huh? I don't know. I think everything is some sort of edge, right? Depending on how you trade it, it's just buy and sell decision points. Or nothing doing decision points, right? Risk-free trade here. Now you at break even and you're seeing if upside expansion wants to happen, right? All right, more upside expansion. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. There we go. There we go. See them 80s taken out. Alright, this is major here. Alright, we're going to be looking for 80s, then at 100 level. Alright. Now remember what we have up here. Alright. 150. So those are the levels. Alright. Of course, like I said, at 100. You want to see if this thing is going to break. Can we break out of this range? We'll see. We'll see. All right, here we go. See if 80s get taken out, man. All right. Not yet. Not yet. But right now, we're pretty much beginning to get an upside expansion, right? So you want to kind of wait for this thing to kind of start turning back upward. All right. Of course, you're going to have sellers here. You want to see if these buyers start coming in here and really proving themselves. See, this is where definitely you want to start already. I've had been in already, right? But if you're not, you want to look for the next best way to get in. All right, this is your next best way right here. All right, let's see. And then on a smaller time frame, you can kind of see this turning better. You can see that turning a lot better. I'll show you here. Let me see if I can pull it on like a 30-second, 10-second or something like that. And that just helps you control your risk better. Alright, or you could just play about a minute, alright, which is fine as well. Alright, here we go. Should be seeing this 80 break. 80 and 100, here we go. Remember that 100 level, we want to see this fully on break now. Come on. We're looking at 120 spot possibly. I don't know where this song came from. I wonder why that song keeps playing. It's after my damn songs end. Alright, here we go. This was a great entry right here because you're below these kind of logical points here. Alright, 70s. Now you can start trying to build into this candle's flip. Alright. This is where micros come in. Alright, you could kind of micro in. And then if it goes here, possibly you only in half of it. Alright. But we want to see this flip. See if it flips and continue. Now 80s should be holding, right? 80s should definitely be holding. And if it doesn't, that tells you, hey, I need to be getting out, alright? You want to just see that flip, see if they're gonna flip it. They're holding hundreds, alright? Next play is really the break of the 100, alright? You know, see like these trap zones here. Alright, 109. Really, that's really what you want to see the break of. You want to see that break, honestly. And then you may get up here. Alright. But since this, you see how like this trap, see how this was pretty much a hell of a trap here. And as you can see, that's where the damn resistance is happening. Anything, like, you can't make this up. Alright, you just kind of, you can start seeing. And then it starts making sense, right? I mean, people are trapped here. All these people that bought up here now. Here we go. Now, if we get this break of that area, this is super strong. It's a super strong area. It's an area of interest. Right? Area of interest. And if you can get a clean entry where this thing flips and your stops us like 90s. Alright? That's really what you want to see. Alright, see, like right now your stops could be 87s, right? If you're aggressive entry. Once this thing starts turning green, that'll confirm it, alright? See, it's still red. Once we can get up here and start flipping. Now what you don't want to do is go in here and long and then, hey, and this thing starts tanking and we get back below 70s and you're still in there, alright? You want to cap the loss. Alright, here we go. So now that flip has happened, your confirmed stops now are 88s. All right, let's see. At 109 is giving some major resistance up here. So you want to see if this thing can pretty much get back over 110, 115, and see if we can get some more upside. Now, if you're trying to go long here, it's not confirming yet. Not yet. All right, we're back to the upside, getting those nice pushes here. As you can see, we at this night. This is your signal candle, right? So you want to be out of there at 85s. You want to hold 100s, and you want to really see this break over 1. Looks like 17. And then also you seeing we're out of value now. So this is an all out of value play. So we should continue here. Want to see this 150s and higher, right? And the crazy part, I was supposed to have some kind of the news here going. There we go. Here we go. So this was another great entry. Alright, that's already what? About 30, 40 points, 40 points. Now you don't want to be entering here. You want to have already been in. Alright, you want to kind of anticipate getting in right up in this area. Alright, and then now you pretty much just trailing and managing a trade. Not seeing any major news coming out anymore. I had the existing home sales earlier, but here we go. See these tiny candles, this is perfect here for re-entry.
US oil extends losses to hit session low, trading near $84 a barrel.
Here we go. We should see this 150 get tested, man. We want to start seeing 130s get taken out, all right? But as you can see, we're kind of trying to expand here. You don't want to see this thing start cracking back down. It can now. Some big seller come in here and step in, you're out of there. So that's why you want to be able to get out. Our superpower is literally getting the hell out of there. because we can. We're not moving such huge volume like these big institutions, so they have to take days and things like that, right? We don't. We can get out instantly. Oil is trying to crack back down as well. Major gap up as well, ran up to about 120, and now we're back down to 84s. All right. Alright, so Nasdaq here is back up at the top of the range. We're still in a range in a sense, right, price action wise, but we're pretty much breaking out of value here. I want to see if we get this continuation or what. I want to see 150, so the next move is really seeing this thing flip. That could be it right here. Alright, here we go. And you're in and you're out at 111s, right? You don't want to see this thing crack. Let's get to that 150. So this whole play was good, right? Once we broke out of value, we pretty much retested value at 38s, and then we just continuously we're on a continuation path. Which we kind of was spotting, like I mentioned here. I believe from earlier, was that today here? Let's see. Yeah, once we were seeing these kind of bonds a little down, so it's kind of thinking risk on really. I questioned it because I was like, damn. I mean, is it risk on? Oil started to drop off too, right? Where is oil here? Here we go. Yeah, so oil tanked drastically, right? And so once that's deflationary. So that's good, right? Deflationary, right? Alright, so if it's deflationary, alright, that's a lowering of rates, kind of. It's implied in a sense. Alright. Alright, well, inflation is why they would increase rates. When things start being overpriced, they have to increase rates. So with that oil spike and then that drastic drop like that, alright, the price action is just pretty much relative. Alright, so we're getting this continuation here. We're looking for 150s on the Nasdaq to at least be tested. But this was clean movement here. Alright, clean movement here. You could pretty much have taken this trade and trailed the 21 average and still be in it. Alright, so this is where kind of systems in a sense help you. Alright, you could have re-entered again here. Look at this. It's clean. It's really clean. So all of these comes after analyzing, right? So now we're just really looking for 150s. Now, of course, you may get to it and reject hard, right? So this is like where order flow starts to play in, because you want to see what's happening up here, right? You can kind of tell. Of course, you could tell with price, but you could kind of be a lot earlier, right? Because by the time price does reject, you're like, well, shit, now it's rejecting. When and watching the orders, you can kind of see that, okay, it's the intent here is that they're gonna sell off. So we want to see it. We want to see this thing continue though. 150s. Now gold, let's see how gold is doing. Gold is pretty much just broke out of a super range here. It's pretty much still in a range in a sense. It's a big ugly range, honestly. But the way I would play it is probably with the fibs, right? And kind of see if we get some nice break in here to get a conviction play up to these 170s and on. But 170s is definitely going to be a major point of resistance. See, they keep selling this thing off, so you kind of want to just wait, really, or get in now, right? You could have stops up, down, below here, but you really, I would say, just wait for the next surge, right? Watch the dollar and wait for the next surge. But this is a good setup for a continuation upward, right? But the key is setting tight stops. Alright, or just knowing where you're gonna get out. Alright. So the best way to play it, I would just wait. Right, you could see this thing is, it's pretty much just selling off here. Now if we start breaking up over 220s, 225s, then that's when you can start really looking for those buys. Alright, so Nasdaq, as you can see, selling a little back off here. Now this does not mean to sell it. Alright. Unless you're a range trader, right? And then you could be looking for a rejection, right? But for me, we're looking for longs here. Looking for longs all day here. Because we're breaking out of some major
US Treasuries auction $100 billion of 4-week bills. So that would be for March 12th, settle on March 17th.
Alright, so that 225, that'll be the next super level here. That's last week's high. Now that could be where we're heading, really. I mean, with the way this thing is looking over the rest of the week, and if we plot the week's average and its VWAP, we'll see here. Yeah, we pretty much just been holding the looks like it just shifted, which is right where this happened. Right, so that was a VPOC shift. So that's actually a play to observe right there. Right, where the range, and it's literally waiting for the shift of VPOC, right? Because this happens as soon as the weekly VPOC shifted. Shift here and then a move happens. That can't be a coincidence, right? All right, we're 176s. Here we go. There we go. Anybody that was trying to short up there, man, it was crazy, because this did not say short. All right, long all day. Now you're starting to get into a shift of value here. So the value is shifting here. Now we're at the top of that, so you want to start playing this a little different. Now up here, you don't want to be getting in really, all right? You want to have already been in, all right? Especially like once you start holding the 100s and then you hold this next 150. See, we got a nice clean break here. Now the next plays are just flip plays, right? You're looking, I mean, those are the ones where you have to have your stops tight, right? Especially at these extremes.
Australian dollar rise 1% against the US dollar, the highest since 2023.
All right, so now we're looking for the 200 flat. That's the next number.
Maersk is to introduce temporary emergency bunker surcharge.
We're looking for 200s, 25.2.
So again, Maersk is to introduce temporary emergency bunker surcharge.
That was a clean break up, man. That was a really clean break. I mean, you can see we set the bias, and then it's pretty much just triggers after that. Like, it just stops and triggers. All right, what's gonna get you in? So we got the flips of the from red to green, break of the highs and lows, right? All right, so this could be a flip play here. All right, we want to see if this thing could hold. This is where the order flow is really key. So you don't want to see this thing start tanking below 150.
After February delivery numbers.
We want 150 to hold. See, and it's always these shifts, which is really why I like the volume profile and trading view, because you could see it's not just the profile, you can see the developing profile, and you can see it in history, which is super powerful because you can kind of analyze it, right? But as you can see here, once the value shifted upward, now we're below it, right? We came from over. Well, now this is just the pressing of the weekly, actually. That's the weekly, which is crazy. All right, those are the things you got to watch for, and which is why I started liking the order flow. All right, because it starts to kind of explain things better. All right, because a lot of people could be like, why is 180 selling off, right? Not the 200. And it literally happened once the weekly volume profile shifted. Like, that can't be a coincidence. Alright, then we get this drastic pull off. So now we make it start seeing a accumulation play back to get up to that 200. Alright, because you better believe that's the number. I mean, that's the so we want to see if this 150 will hold and see if we get this flip. Alright, didn't get the flip. That was the top of the weekly value area sell-off. Alright, so now what you want to do is pretty much wait. Alright. Now if we clean all this up, we can clean all this up for now. I'll hide it. But you want to take pretty much you could take a retracement of this leg. Alright. But we're pretty much just waiting to see if we get some Look, there we go again. That's the weekly pivot. All right. That was a great move. So now you want to see if this thing is going to flip back to the upside. Now up here we could get a nice drop now. Test the hundreds actually. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, so we know a few things. We could take this off here. We've broken the trend lines, broken this area. So this is, like I mentioned, you could be playing this retracement. Right. And that's if you're a counter trend trader, right? If you want to go counter trend or range type of trading. Looking at that 113 area for the shorts. It's literally a sitting on your hands even as you are in a trade, right? You're sitting waiting for the trade, and then when you're in a trade, especially in a good trade, you're pretty much doing the same thing, right? This long here, I mean, that was a phenomenal trade, right? Especially if you could have held that. I mean, this is what you're looking for anyway all day. We get chopped out of there and then miss these kind of moves. All right. So I would still be waiting for upside actually. Like especially once we could get back over 150. All right, now we start tanking back inside of the daily value. Then we could be looking for those shorts. All right. Yeah, any shorts up here is, I mean, they're just scalps. You're just pretty much scalping these. All right, we're looking for that break of 150, see if we can get some continuation. Didn't quite make it to the 113s. That's why I stopped doing counter trends. All right, counter trend, it's just like, damn, because you're looking at it like, why doesn't it go? All right, oh, I thought it was going to go to the field. right? It's all tools in the toolbox. Nothing, no tool is 100%, right? Not any of them. And that's not the point. The point is not to get to be able to 100%. It's to limit risk. Okay, so we're looking to see if we're gonna get over here, or we may get to the 113s, right? We'll start breaking at 25s. And they absorb up here and sell it off. Alright, so the short's back in play, back to the 13s. Short's back in play. But you want to be real tight. There's two ways to really limit it. Besides, I mean, yeah, you stop, of course, but then when you're going counter trend, the best thing to do is not go full size as well. Alright, so we're gonna reach it. Let's see if we could tag it. 114s. So there's people trying to buy it up already. See if it'll just crash down. You want to see it blip. This is where limit orders make sense too, right? Because it could blip down here and come back. But you want to see this thing come on and get down here to these 113s. Well, that would the extension would be like a super. I mean, you usually want to do that in a trend, like if it's trending, right? But that, I mean, it's fair game, right? Fair game is 25.85 of this leg. But see how it's buyers in here. They keep stepping it back up. And it's pretty much taking a lot of, you know, people's money. And there we go. We may get this flip. This may be a flip play. But it's not worth it, though. It's not worth it. Alright, so we're just pretty much watching here. We want to see if this thing could... We're looking for the 200s. They sold it off here once we had that weekly value shift. And I had just plotted that. That's crazy. Just to show. I said, let's look at the weekly. And it, once it flipped, they reached it pretty much. Broke out of it. Was trying to break out of it. And then it just pretty much collapsed. So now we want to see this thing get back over 150s. After you're in now, stops definitely at 120s, 123. You want to see this thing keeps really keep pushing. Alright, and if it doesn't, you want to get the hell out of there fast. Because if it goes now, it's going to go. Alright? If it's going to go up, it literally have to go up. It won't pretty much teleport from here to here. Alright? It could go fast now, but it won't just blip and... Alright? It has to move through prices, which gives you time. It's going to give you time. Alright, so we're just waiting right now. We're waiting, or if you end, you stops at 23. That's the best way. Alright, now on a smaller time frame, even like a 10-second or something like that, you could see this flip clear. Right, you'll see this flipping. Right, you'll see it. You'll see this here, and then as this goes here, and then it'll flip on this candle. So you'll stop. There we go. There we go, and that shows it. There we go. Stops at 23. All right, we're looking for, we've gotten a break back over 50s. We want to see this thing start taking 80s out and up to the 200. Let's go. All right. So now you're pretty much just waiting again, right? You're pretty much sitting on your hands again, and you're managing what you have in there, right? If you have multiple contracts, you may want to take some off at 80s and let the rest ride. But as of now, you're pretty much just waiting. Possibly a break even, right? Or at least moving it up. All right, if stops was at what, 20, we said what, 23? Yeah, you definitely could be in break even trade by now. You're already in profit. All right, you've already locked in profit, and then you just literally pretty much just repeating those same exact steps. You're just waiting again, and then you're seeing if it does something to prove either I need to get out or I need to get in. All right, now if you're already in, if it proves you need to get in again, that means, hey, you could either add or ride what you have, right, and just trail. All right, so we're trying to see if we're gonna breach this 80. This was a hell of a trade. That was a hell of a trade, man. And that's being late, all right? So it's always trades happening, all right? Even if you miss this, it doesn't take. And this could have been broken up into multiple trades, all right? We broke this up into several buy trades. All right, so now you're just in another buy, all right? Just wherever price is, it doesn't really matter what happened. You just trying to see if you need a buy, sell, or do nothing at the current point, all right? So right now, we're looking for this break. Next trade, if you're not in, will be pretty much a break and retest. All right, of that 82. But you want to see this push to the 200. 200 is going to be some super resistance. Now, if we break through it, it's going to be really crazy. It's going to be really, really crazy. It could get crazy fast, right? Seeing the decrease in volume as well. You want to start seeing this pick up with volume as we break. All right, we want to see these bulls come in here.
Brent crude falls as much as 11.9% now, down to about $87.37.
I believe crude actually, it should be. I was looking for that drop and break of 80s, 81. So we should be getting that, which is crazy. Now that's a pump and dump. And then we also now for oil.
Nvidia shares extend gains 2% session high.
Oh shit, that's good. That's good for Nasdaq. So we still had this little area here that never got the 67. Now that'll be crazy, all right? But hey, I'm not ruling it out, all right? Because we got that pump over 100, and we're back at 83, all right? All right, let's sit back on the Nasdaq here. Nasdaq is. All right, so this may give another opportunity to enter. Getting a deep pullback here. And this is where your trail game has to be on point. You got out of there, all right? Because you're pretty much just waiting for it to prove if I need to stay in or get out. Now you could have another flip play here, all right, where this thing flips again and then goes for the 200. All right, that'll be another whole trade, all right? That'll be a good one. That'll be a great one, actually. I mean, because 200 hasn't been taken. Now, if we get up to 200 and this thing really starts rallying, Well, as of now, it's not to sell. All right. You don't want to just sell up here. Unless your stops are capped and you pretty much have the risk cap, man. All right. But as of, I mean, realistically, you don't want to be. I mean, if you're in a longer term play now, you could be, you know, as long as your risk is capped. That's the biggest part, right? Right? You could be trying to get in early, and then if you plan on that short and getting in here more. But as of now, everything to me is showing up until otherwise. Now, if you in here and you got a longer term view, I mean, those are solid sales. That's for sure. Those are solid. But you want to see it prove itself. So we'll take all the drawings off here. Yeah, like a hive day type of thing. I want to see that hive day rejected really, and then we get this. That would take that field, right? We'll have more of a ways down. And we got to look at like yesterday's high, right? As long as we're above yesterday's high, I don't really want to short. So I would really short down here. That's where I would rather safely short, right? Because then that'll tell me it's a higher time frame rejection. As of now, this is kind of ranging up. Now you could take this back into the range, but just make sure your risk is capped. So I'm looking for more of a pullback and further upside until proven otherwise. All right. So I have a bias, and then I have the bias switching type of program. So once your bias switch, then it's like, okay, now I'm only looking for sales. Until then, I'm only looking for buys. Right, and then any sales that look, that doesn't mean sales don't come up, or I may take a nice sales scalp, right? But it filters out me doing even the sales, all right? I'm buying only above, selling only below. So then if you take it in just with the like the VWAP, alright. Which these plays get, I mean, see these nice clean moves here. Now you can do even an anchored VWAP on that last up.
According to ministry spokesperson, Iraqi oil production reduced to 1.2 million barrels a day. Iraq is attempting to resume Kirkuk oil flow.
I mean, this gives you sell-off type of targets, right? Or does it just give you buy-in zones? It gives you kind of both, depending on what trade you want to do. So for me, I'll probably plot it out like this. All right, we'll just pretty much wait and see if we get this break, and then the 200 breaking onward. See how you got the, I mean, just pretty much within this standard deviation. Broke above it, came back in, it's just playing around. That's why I say you gotta have multiple tools in your tool belt. Alright, one tool won't, and no tool is gonna give you 100%. No tool, I don't care what tool it is. So, but if you combine them, you start getting confluence, right? It's just like multiple reasons for people. So it's like you have trend traders, you have breakout traders, you may have a fib trader. If all of those people come in at the same time, right, you're gonna get a hell of a lot more of a confirmation of a move, right? And so now we're just back waiting on our hands, sitting on our hands, man. You just waiting. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, like even pivot points is a tool, but I learned a while ago that it's not just about pivot points, right? And they have their place, but it ain't. I mean, it's a lot of times they are hit and miss, all right?
According to IIR,
Like here, why did it miss this? Well, because you have 24,000 here.
Per day of crude
All right, so it's kind of like I start using them like that. All right, so here, for instance, this would have really jacked me up back in the day, but why would this not go? All right, well, you have the 800 number here. All right, so it's like it just kind of builds that level up. All right, so until you break 800, of course you're not going there. All right, so we're just waiting on Nasdaq here. Oil, we're trying to see. Oil's been giving some super plays, man. It's pretty much been short all week, which is crazy because of what happened. So the buying was on Monday, and it's literally been short from that. All right, which is a play, really. I mean, that's a super play, right? That's a get the public play. They'll trap it, and anybody that sees the news, they're like, let's buy it only. And they're buying all into this because of what the news says, all right? When they don't see that the news play already was played, all right? It was all last week, and that big news was their get out method, really, more so than it getting in. Once I saw this gap, I was pissed, really, because I was like, damn, I know the news happened, and I know oil's going to shoot up. Once I saw this, I was like, damn. Played this on Monday, and the rest is literally sell-off history. All right, so right now we're trying to see, the real thing is seeing if we're going to possibly break 25,250. Do we want to get up there? I think so. But despite what I think, it has to go up to get up there, right? So right now it's not. All right, so we're getting some selling off here. I mean, short-term sell-off down to 80s possibly, but I still, like I mentioned, I wouldn't be playing shorts. I'm not looking for any shorts right now. No shorts right now. If you want to get in a short, I mean,
China 12 on
cap the risk.
Official, Iran's cluster missiles caused significant damage.
Definitely, you could. I mean, stops at 140s, 142. All right. Worst case scenario at 59s. All right, if you're short. 41s, 42s, and 59s, those are pretty much your stop outs, your bias changes. Then we could be targeting like you could target a break below the low right here, 117s. And then from here, once it breaks this, you want to be kind of getting out of some and letting the rest float.
Said that high oil prices will be a problem in the midterms, and that if the conflict in Iran persists, I think you're going to see disastrous election.
Alright, let's see what the heat map is showing us here. Gold back going up here. Markets have just started tanking off here. It's pretty much ranging. There it is. And definitely this is why you want to start having multiple, and then you want to, like I said, start targeting down here, because these type of pops could be violent, right? Even if you're right, it could still pop up here to 30s, 40s, all right, and then continue. All right, so this could be another point here. Then you get this break of this low here, targeting possibly hundreds, really. I wouldn't target the VWAP here, really, because you got that whole number at 100 and it's an uptrend. I mean, it's a range to uptrend, right? So if you really don't want to see this 31, 32 area taken out. You want to see this thing just go ahead and collapse. Start breaking up 115s. There we go. And for me, what I use a lot of these times is for practice, really. Right? Because, like, say if I'm out of the trade, I'm not trading any shorts, right? But it doesn't mean I don't see shorts. So I'll just, call them out, and that kind of helps you kind of really get better at your strategy, at entering, at exiting, right? If you're calling out virtual exits. So I do that even, any kind of time I'm not trading, even if it's counter trend. Yeah, you definitely want to be already either in there. You don't want to be entering now, really. All right. Now, if this candle flips, now if we get this break here and then a flip, then that'll be another type of one of these candle movements. So of course now we could start setting up like a channel. All right. Oh, it doesn't work. Well, why did it bounce here? A lot of people, I mean, hey, there are people trading channels then, that means. Alright. So they're all tools in a tool belt. Alright, so we're waiting here. So I say even like at these type of points, you don't want to be just shorting down here. Because you get these violent pops. And these in 1 minute. Alright, that's another short setup there. Start breaking this low here at 10s. Of course now you have 100s right here, so is it worth it? Not really. If whoever's in up here at the 50s, that was the play. Alright, that was the best play for it. So right now we're just waiting. We're just literally waiting, right? It's pretty as a nothing do nothing zone, honestly. We've double tapped up here, rejected. Now, if anything, it's more so of a field retracement type of play. All right. All right, this thing has tried twice to go down, nothing. We just wait that if we start breaking out of this channel, definitely you could take that target to 100, but it's really not worth it to get there. And these type of moves down to this field will be violent type of pullbacks most likely. Kind of like this kind of stuff here. All right, it'll drop, pop up again, drop, pop, and then drop, and you're like, shit. I want to see the test of this 200. 200 and 250. And we didn't get there. We didn't get there. All right, let's see what oil's doing here. Oil's just pretty much ranging, going down and ranging. All right.
Yahoo Finance, top news. Why short sellers are betting against Intel, INTC, the most shorted Dow stock. Yahoo Finance, top news. Why uranium energy stock popped today. CNBC, top news. Gas prices passed $3.50 per gallon to highest level since 2024 amid U.S. Iran war. Seeking Alpha, market currents. Hewlett-Packard's results and prudent outlook keep analysts largely positive.
All right, we can begin another short play set up here. All right. Stops at 44s. You want to try to get to break even really fast. Now, if half of this candle gets taken out immediately, I usually get out of there. All right. But like I said, I'm not even shorting here. All right. See if you're looking for shorts. This is a no short area. Because the shorts aren't worth it. You're looking for these kind of plays. All right. See how every short gets bought right back up. All right. Right back up. That was bought up violently. All right. So this is a do nothing pretty much zone. So it's just another range here. I want to see a break out of this range. All right, we're over 150. Let's go. All right, we're gonna be looking for the flip play on the next candle. Actually, this was a great entry here. Especially, well, really, once we broke back over this, that invalidates this whole sell idea. And look how violently we are going up now. All right, this could be the 200 push. $200 push here. See if we can get it for the hour close here. That'll be a great closing hour. Alright. I doubt this end of the hour be super expansive though. Alright. Not at the end of the hour. They're not just gonna back in. There it is.
S&P 500 index extends, gained 0.5% session high. Witkoff on Iran says Trump is always willing to talk.
Big volume happening here. Big volume here.
Yahoo Finance, top news. Priority Tech, PRTH, Q4 2025 earnings transcript. Yahoo Finance, top news. Market crash, 3 stocks I'd buy without hesitation.
Witkoff
Yahoo
says
Finance,
question is whether
top
talking would be
news.
productive.
Why did
So
NEO
Witkoff
stock jump
speaking on
10%
CNBC.
today? Yahoo Finance, top news. Elon Musk fires back at AOC after billionaire conman remark, jokes he's a trillionaire. Yahoo Finance, top news. Ross Store CEO eyes a change that risks pushing shoppers away. Seeking Alpha, market currents. OpFi Q4 2025 earnings preview.
Okay,
Seeking
we may get
Alpha,
this flip.
market currents. Camel's Company Q2 2026 earnings preview.
But we're still in this range. Still in here. Alright.
Seeking Alpha, market currents.
Start
Serve
breaking over
Robotics
70s.
Incorporated
Look out for
Q4
200s.
2025 earnings preview. Seeking Alpha, market currents. Harmony Gold Mining 1H 2026 earnings preview.
There it is. That was a blip. That was a 10-point blip down there. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to be looking. We got the bottom down here, the channel at 111. Of course, you got 100 down here now. I would just do like the end of the hour, like I mentioned, I doubt the end of the hour would have been expansion. Like not at the end. Could have, which is why you have these guardrails really. So if this thing would have blew up, but here, I mean, especially once you got this candle, once we start breaking back in, I mean, hey. So right now we're still in the range. It's just ranging, right? And what in the range, you just pretty much just playing the top and bottom of the ranges, right? All right, so they're waiting for the next hour. That's the play there, is to wait for the next hour. I know damn well what. All right.
Yahoo Finance, top news.
Here we go.
Cathie Wood goes bargain hunting, 3 stocks she just bought. CNBC, top news. Nvidia makes significant investment in Myra Murati's Thinking Machines Lab. Yahoo Finance, top news. Stock market today, Dow, Nasdaq climb as oil prices plunge amid ongoing U.S. Iran conflict. Live coverage. Seeking alpha, market currents. Light MD soars as Cantor Fitzgerald reportedly reiterates overweight rating following solid Q4 print.
Let's get the WASD data. Return stocks forecast 931 million, unchanged from the prior. Soybeans looking at 350 million, unchanged from prior. All of these unchanged from prior. Cotton and stocks forecast 4.4 million. Corn and stocks forecast 2,127 million.
See if we can break out of this range. Doesn't look like it. So this is probably 11 o'clock type of play. 11, 1 o'clock, power hour type of thing. But we'll be pretty much watching for this range to get broken out of either way. I want to see the upside. Once we break either side of this channel. But other than that, we're going to call it a wrap. Definitely be sure to subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned because we'll be back tomorrow for another one.
Witkoff says we have destroyed almost all of Iran's enrichment capability. Five minutes ago to get the EIST reports, and also the top of the hour we get the YST data. According to RIA News, Putin is to hold a phone call with Pezeshkian, Iran's president. So Putin has spoken with Iran's president Pezeshkian, now being cited by TASS News. Also, Witkoff says Russia said in a call yesterday that they had not shared intelligence on US military assets. One minute to go now to get the EIST report, shortly expecting also the YST data at the same time too. YST wheat end stocks 931 million as expected. Soybean end stocks 350 million as expected. Cotton end stocks 4.4 million as expected, and corn end stocks 2,127
Finance,
million as
top
expected.
news. The best
Depending on
dividend
the
ETF
steer
to buy
report
now
data
for passive
VI.
income. Yahoo Finance, top news. 4 reasons to buy Realty Income. Oh, stock like there's no tomorrow. Yahoo Finance, top news. Stock market today, Dow,
says that let's see
Nasdaq
if the
climb
Iranians
as
want to
oil
talk.
prices plummet amid ongoing U.S. Iran conflict. Live coverage. Yahoo Finance, top news. Why IREN Limited plunged over 20% in February. Yahoo Finance, top news. Nvidia invests in AI startup thinking machines. Yahoo Finance, top news. Nvidia to provide 1 gigawatt of AI chips, make significant investment in OpenAI rival thinking machines labs. Yahoo Finance, top news. New episode, Sustainable Reporting in Mining.